all right. We're live. Zolovinar, everybody from who is that? From Nandronga. I say MBC. How are you, man? Nice to join you guys today. VT Traders. Yeah, you were early. Tuning in from the USA, Bite Size Learning. What's up, guys? What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining me today on the mat. Very productive week, actually. Productive of sorts. It was a good week. We're just waiting for Steph and the boys to get back. I'm over here. I'm drinking this water. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. Sorry guys, I'm messing with my camera. Tui is not with me today. So it's just me and you guys. Tui's on the other end. He's making sure that things don't go. Ooh, make sure I'm not guessing there. Huh? So, mess around with this. Oh, this thing's not go down, eh? Get more of me in that shot. There we go, baby. There we go. All right. So we got lots to talk about. Oh, Tui. Bulare. Nice to meet you, man. So, hey, there's a lot of people. Bula from Suva, yeah. Tui's on his way to Tonga. So, what for? I guess we'll have to find out. Tui's a high roller. He's like he's pulling some personal assistant jobs right now. Government jobs. It's probably CIA or something. Do we have CIA in Fiji? I don't know. Probably. Hey, Mulicia from Darwin. Mulicia. Hey, Jess, what's up? All right. Watch out for the bed bugs in the Suva table, Tui. Yeah, Tui. Are you gonna go back? Tui really wants his noodles, eh? I think that's what Tui used to go for. Can you guys hear me? We found the mics, so maybe it's better if I don't want to hold the mic though. Just really don't want to hold the mic. Can everybody hear me? All right. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today. Welcome everybody. My name is Jonathan. This is On the Mat. It is Friday, August 25th. We're almost into September here, people. And I think the big news today for everybody was at least in Fiji, was all this commotion about the radioactive waste that's going into the ocean. So we are going to be talking about that. What have you guys heard about that? Loud and clear. Thank you. And Tui is not going back to that place. He is afraid. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, there was Tui was at where was it? Suva Central, I think, upstairs, BSP at the food court, and there was a lot. There's like a long table bench thing, and yeah, Tui had the pleasure of getting his forearms bit up while he was sitting down, and then he looked into the crack, like where the tabletop separated from the frame, and yeah, it was very bad. There was a ton of bugs in there. Hold on one second, everybody. Oh, what's up, Em? Thanks for the donation. There we go. Kuroi's doing his job in the background, making that overtime pay right now. Good job. Guys, I'm trying to pull up a couple links here, so just have some patience with me here. Have some patience. Oh. Wow, that was really fast. That's a big basin. Well, everybody, happy Friday. But the food is too good. So Japan has already started dumping. Yes, they have. Oh, this is what I'm gonna do here, people. One sec. It's too small. Hey, come on. Savanada, you better come over here, man. How's Steph and the boys? They're really good, actually. They are coming back, I think, on Wednesday next week. So Stephanie, the boys were with Stephanie's parents for the last 2 weeks. So she just saw them for the first time in 2 weeks. So she was excited. 200 cubic meters of treated waste. Yeah. We're about to talk about all this. So what happened was in, I think it was in 2011, there was a big earthquake, all right? And they released, and there was, because of the earthquake, there was a tsunami or a tidal wave that actually destroyed the Fukushima, yeah, nuclear power plant. All right, so they deactivated it, not completely, obviously, because there's still the cooling, the water that was used to cool the nuclear reactor was still there. So they just kept the water there, and now they are dumping it into the Pacific Ocean. So there's a lot of, basically, there's protests. There's, in Fiji even, there's protests. There is a lot of, basically, bad mouthing going around about Japan because of what they're doing. But in my very, very quick research, what happens with a nuclear reactor, and I think this was not in the research, but if I remember correctly from high school, and Sam was helping me look some stuff up today, the way nuclear reactors work is they require a lot of cooling capacity. If you don't have the cooling water there, it will melt down, which is what happened at Fukushima. It damaged the ability for them to cool it, and the nuclear reactors melted down. So it's basically like a car engine, like if you think of it like that, where your coolant or your water goes in, it circulates in its own separate system. So when you drain the coolant, you're not draining the oil and your transmission fluid. Each liquid lives in its own location, going through its own passages. So this water, beyond, unlike what people are saying, unlike what people think, is actually not that harmful. Do I think it's safe? But do I think it's safe to dump those nuclear waste into the Pacific Ocean? This is the thing. It's not nuclear waste. It's water that was cooling a nuclear plant. It wasn't actually touching any of the nuclear activities. It was surrounding the reactors. It would go around and cool the reactors, basically. So think about, like, if you take a shower and the water is falling over, a cold shower, the water is coming over your body, it's not getting into your blood, and the water is not contaminated with your urine unless you pee in the shower, which, that's up to you, I guess. I don't know. Some of us pee in the shower sometimes, I guess, but I don't like the smell. So, and the amount of waste that they actually dumped, say, I looked it up today, the amount of waste in the first dump was 3,700 cubic meters or something like that, which is the equivalent of 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. So get this, 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of water in the whole ocean, all right? And what is made, so there's a way to test water for its radioactivity, all right? I forget what that unit is called. What is the name of that unit? Can you look that up, Sam? Sure. What is the radioactive units in water? Anyways, World Health Organization says that drinking water can be at 10,000 of those units. The nuclear waste that they're releasing into the ocean is 63 of those units. So you could actually physically go in and drink that water. Hey, I am Stellar Music. Thank you so much. What do? You make music? Thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate it. Huge shout out to I am Stellar Music. Thank you guys so much. Don't do this for the donations. Obviously, we just like to have fun. We like to. This is a place where we get to talk to you guys. I see your comments here right in front of me, and I get to have a discussion. So why didn't they discharge earlier? Why were they hesitant in the first place? Well, I guess I don't know the answer to that. Maybe they. I bet you there's. I mean, this is 2011, so this is 12 years ago. I don't know. Probably takes a long time to deactivate a probably takes a very, very long time to deactivate a nuclear site and actually shut it down properly. So the UN atomic becquerels. So becquerels is the unit, just so I don't sound like an idiot. The UN, I think, Nuclear Association or whatever it's called, and the Japanese government, they both signed off on this. So this is the UN, this is the United Nations, this is the people who sit in the G20 summit. Like, this is not just a country just willy-nilly disposing of nuclear, radioactive sludge into the ocean. And even if they did, discharged 3 swimming pools worth of in their first discharge, that would be like me peeing into a lake, and then or peeing into the river just over here, and then like people downstream like dying. So like, and what they're discharging is 63 becquerels per liter. World Health Organization says that people can drink water with up to 10,000 becquerels per liter. All right, so that's why. That's why it's not a big deal. And actually, where this all stemmed from in my research was China. All they were the ones who started this whole thing about why Japan is doing. Why are they doing this? Why it's so bad for the environment? This is ironic coming from the world's most top polluting country when it comes to carbon dioxide emissions, right? Very ironic when China starts all of this. We all get on board. So I would suggest watching what's going on in China this week and seeing what they're trying to get our attention away from and onto Japan, all right? While they probably are doing something super sketchy. Very ironic that China was the one who started all of these rumors and started all of this stuff about how this is so bad for the ocean, all this stuff, when guys, our allies, Japan, the UN, okay, that's lots of countries like Australia, the US, New Zealand, they all they're all a part of this, all right? They all have representatives on these boards. So it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Bite-sized learning. It's unprecedented, and uncertainty is always to be tread with caution. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, for sure, I agree. But when you actually look into it and don't just believe, what's being fed to us, it, I found out most of this information in what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, yeah. Um, and so it's not exactly what you think when you look at different sources. Um, Yeah, and China has already banned seafood from Japan. Japan's export, I think, for seafood was like $600 million, and China has shut that down. So you got to also look at China has this huge thing with Taiwan. Where does Japan align with China's, initiatives with the Taiwan situation? Um, that's like saying we shouldn't just believe the UN. Like you said, don't just believe what is said to us. Yeah, because I'm just saying that a lot of people, why downplay it then? Well, because in the like if you actually look into it and look up what's actually happening, like there is research that shows what is actually being put into the ocean. You could actually scoop up that water and drink it, and it would be better than like what we're told we can drink. So that's why I'm saying it's not really a big deal. I'm not saying don't look into it. I'm saying look into it. I'm just saying this is what I found, because I just don't see how a company or a country like Japan could just dump its nuclear waste. And if you actually understand or look into the way the nuclear reactors work, um, it wouldn't be that upsetting, because like this water is actually not touching the nuclear or atomic breakdown that creates the power. It's simply cooling the system. Um, like I'm thinking about this like a stupid mechanic, all right, guys, and I'm an idiot. So let's cheers and bullet to that, all right? So bite size, all this to say bite size learning. I could be wrong, but this is just what I saw. I come at everything with a skeptical point of view. Appreciate your points, just saying that the reaction from people on the streets is valid because it's threatening to our livelihoods. What's that, sorry? Yeah.
Someone said that the cooling water when the victims
Yeah.
mixed with.
Oh, okay.
Well, even if it did mix, it was treated to a certain degree.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm always. I mean, the thing is like with anything that you hear from any news outlets, look at like make a list of like all the news outlets on like either side of the spectrum, and like if you read an article on one, it like because we don't have time to like like conspiracy theorists always say, look into it. It's like, well, that's not very helpful. But I guess the way that I would say is like, okay, go see what Fox says, go see what CNN says, and it probably chances are it's probably somewhere in between. Those are just the two like most common like big media companies, but you know that will give you an opportunity. Go find like to one person who's saying this, go find the people who are usually opposite to them, and it might be somewhere in between. Hope that it won't. What is China's agenda though? Well, Japan is certainly not aligned with China, as nor should we be. And this might mean that I can never go to China if they see this, because they have crazy technology that is probably scraping the internet for people who say bad things about their country. And so if I ever want to go to China, I'll probably get captured. So that would be terrible. So, Josh, what up? What up, man? What up from California? So if China's we all know China's building things in the Pacific that our Pacific countries can't pay off. They did this in Vanuatu. They built a huge port, way bigger than they needed. And then the government couldn't pay it off. And so they said, oh, how about this? You just give us the port. You get to use it, but we own it. Hey, that sounds like a perfect station for a Pacific naval base, right? I think that's what China's trying to do. They're trying to take the allies across the Pacific, divide them against the people who are actually for them in the UN, from Australia, from New Zealand, from Canada, from the States, all are the big countries that kind of border the Pacific. And then what they're going to do is they're going to come through, they're going to build roads, they're going to build infrastructure, they're going to build buildings that will never be able to pay off. And then they're going to own them. They're going to own the infrastructure, they're going to own the power, they're going to own the buildings, and they're going to own the roads. And they're going to tell us what we can do with them. And we'll have nice roads, but they won't be ours. And then eventually we kind of belong to them. And then they're going to build naval bases, they're going to build army bases, and they're going to be set up very well across the Pacific. Holy smokes, I sound like a conspiracy theorist right now, don't I? But if you look at the way that like things have played out over the years, it seems very obvious to me. And there is no such thing as like a person from that country who, because of the way communism is set up, you are never an individual. You're always you're always affiliated with the government, and they use all their citizens to, I don't know, quote unquote, spy on countries, I guess. So we need to be very careful, I guess, is what I'm saying. And we need to be very careful what we believe. And so this kind of stems back to what we're talking about with this nuclear waste that's being dumped into the ocean, if it is nuclear waste at all, but maybe it's more like drinking water. So I mean, just to put it into perspective, all right, all this bad news was spread by a country that releases over 10,000 million tons of CO2 into the atmosphere, all right, every year, all right. Japan, on the other hand, is still in the top 5. So China's number 1, United States, India, Russia, Japan. And Fiji's actually number 6. No, I'm just kidding. Fiji's probably last. If we got all these like old buses running around with the diesel and everything. So basically, it's not harmful to marine organisms and us as a whole. No, I'm not worried about it. Like 63 becquerels per liter. We can drink water that has 10,000 becquerels per liter. So we're definitely going to be fine. It'd be more toxic if somebody peed right into my mouth. So China releases 10,000 million tons of CO2 into the atmosphere every year. Japan releases 1,100 million tons of CO2. 1,100 million tons of CO2 every year. That's 1/10 of China. So it's very ironic that China starts rumors about countries that release like 1/10 of what they release. So, you know what I mean? All good. What?
About China from 7 around the world.
Where's 7 other? I'm trying to read these. Okay. They promised this and that. They promised this and that, but maybe the real reason behind the interest in our Pacific is that they know how rich our natural resources, like they're doing in Africa right now. Yeah, 100%. and this all comes under the guise of industry and resources. And I think the Chinese Communist government is always looking for power, right? You don't have power unless you have money, and you don't have the ability to go into these countries and say like, hey, we want to like set up a military base. So they do it in a way that like is very attractive for people like us, idiots like me.
They acquire
Oh,
land.
yeah, exactly. They acquire land. Oh yes, the amount of things that's been happening in Vanuatu and the Solomons that China has been building. Joshua from California, what's up? Fiji Godzilla, yeah, I can imagine that. There's some poor Indo-Fijian guys out in one of their boats, wooden boats, like in Godzilla. Or the question is like, I'm saying that because like all the guys that go down our side of the reef are all Indo-Fijian guys. They just like go back and forth from Lotoka to Lambasa, making a living. I mean, it's not. Imagine being out on the ocean, just in one of those small boats in the heat, just hanging your butt over the side of the boat when you need to poo, and like just hoping you don't fall in because you probably can't swim. So stressful. Anyways, what would a Godzilla look like in the Pacific? You know, we know what the Asian Godzillas look like. I don't know.
Would it be like a crested iguana?
Yeah.
Like a contaminated iguana.
Yeah, maybe like an iguana of some sort. But maybe it'd be holding like a club or something. Maybe have some sort of weapon, you know?
The lakes from the
The nuclear waste water contains. This is from Bite Size Learning. Thank you, Bite Size Learning. Like this is fun. Like I love these comments, the conversation. This is why I love doing the YouTube live because like I feel like we're actually talking right now, right? The nuclear waste contains one element that cannot be removed, and it is a carcinogen, which is cancer causing. The effects on human life on this scale have not been studied before. Okay, interesting. All right. Yeah, I think that's probably legit. Probably something that we should look into. Yeah, there's been a lot going around with the top countries. Yeah, I hope one day we will protest for the rubbish being dumped into our coastline. So, I got a video coming out. If Tui's still on this chat or on this call, we got a video coming out about the garbage dump in Lambasa that you guys will have to stay tuned for. But the Lambasa River, I'll just say this: the Lambasa River is notorious for flooding. Notorious for flooding the town, and the river. If my head is the garbage dump, okay, and it is kind of a garbage dump at times, but imagine the river coming from this side, right, and then it flows out this side to the ocean, right? And my head is a garbage dump. I'm a piece of garbage, right? Many thousands of pieces of garbage. Water comes in here. The river comes here. It goes like this, around the garbage dump, like this, and then goes out to the ocean. All right? If we have a 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 year flood, what do you think happens to all the rubbish in that garbage dump? And what is right out on this side of the ocean? The Kaulevu, the Great Sea Reef, the third largest reef, the third largest barrier reef in the whole entire world. And the Lambasa garbage dump is just right here, right where my face is, right? Coming in here, going around, going out, straight to our reef. I think stuff like that is worth protesting about. That's what I would like to see NGOs taking care of. There's so many green initiatives all the time, and climate change this and climate change that, and then let's put a rubbish dump right in the. Okay, I'll keep wanting to say Becca. In the, what is that called in the river? Delta, right? River Delta, yeah. And let's put the garbage dump right in the delta of the river, and just hope for the best. I think there's a better alternative, personally. I'm not talking about politics here, guys. I'm talking about common sense stuff from the people and what I'm raising this because like we need to think about the things that we're protesting. All right. I'm not saying that like, we're all idiots for, going out on the streets in Suva. People have been fed information and they did what they thought was right with that information. All right. So I think it's just important to just look at the whole story and have conversations. And that's why I appreciate you bite-sized learning, because I feel like we're having actual conversation here. But I think that's something to look onto. I'm still in music. Hey, buddy, I jumped on this live because I had blindly like a post from a friend about protesting the nuclear waste dumping. Shoot. So I actually went through. I actually went out over and like deleted that both of those posts on Insta. Just so only the YouTube live audience gets this info. Um, I went and deleted both of those posts, or that post, on both Instagram and Facebook, um, because. So here's the way I think of our content. It's multifaceted, I guess, but any engagement is good engagement, right? And so I thought, because of all of the protests going on today, this would be a really, that's actually what I feel about the subject. So that's why I said it. I wasn't just trying to like get people riled up for no reason. But like any engagement, I was like I was telling Sam, we were on a call with our mentors this morning, and they said something that we always talk about, and like any engagement is good engagement when it comes to social media and the algorithms, right? So I have to balance that though with like just getting people riled up for no reason. And what does that achieve in our overall goal? Like my overall personal goal or belief is that I believe that Christian businessmen and women can change the world. And so what does my sharing my opinion on a subject matter actually do in achieving the Great Commission, is so that people know about Jesus. So that's just a personal thing. I'm not saying that like this is something that like all y'all gotta like believe in right now. That's just like my personal mission. Our business mission is to create, like for the Walker brand, is to create employment opportunities. All right. Um, so I'm balancing like, hey, any engagement is good engagement with what we're talking about here. So I actually posted that, and I think because if Facebook sees that you are trying to lead people away from Facebook, like I put YouTube in the description, it will sometimes not like the post, and its algorithm sees that because YouTube isn't a part of the Meta platform, so it takes people, it just crushes the post. Like 200 people saw it in like 2 hours, which is like 1/10 of what we usually get, and not even. So I just deleted it because he was like, you know what, maybe this is a sign that like this wasn't in line with our overall goal, and this doesn't achieve what we're trying to do. It's just distracting, and I can talk about it on here with you guys. So that's why I took it off. So does that make sense? I hope you guys appreciate that. But I'm telling music. I guess it helped. I mean, totally appreciate you being here, hanging out with us in Fiji. Got this great set behind me again. Um, I think I need to fix that backboard on that
Yeah.
on that basketball hoop there. If only our parliament leaders, which we voted, heard the voice of the people. Yeah. Yeah, bite-sized learning. Yeah, before I move on, yeah, it's with that, I think I don't get political. That definitely doesn't achieve my overall goal. Being political, for people to know my opinion on politics, is very divisive. Even though I don't think it has to be, that's just the way politics is nowadays. Um, but I think people bite off, and they make a lot, or they say a lot of things that they don't know how difficult it's going to be. I think after 16 years under the last government, for Rambuka and these guys, this three-party coalition to come in, I think there was a lot of things they said that they might not have realized, like required a lot of admin work and resources and money. And so, yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe, I want to say I think everybody tries their best. I'd like to believe that. I'm a default optimistic person. I like to assume the best in people, and with me, like you're innocent until proven guilty. Um, so I won't say like they're guilty of anything, but I think people are frustrated because it takes a long time. But I think if I was in that position, I would be also frustrated that it takes a long time. Um, there's definitely things that can be done better, but that's the way politics goes, and you can't make everybody happy. So how about that for a lot of cliche sayings? Bite-sized learning. Haha, thanks. Healthy debates is what it's about. Totally agree. love you so much. Thank you for joining. And like, please like join us often, because I think a lot of times followers and likes are a lot of echo chamber, right? We follow people that we agree with and we talk with people that align with our views. And so it's nice sometimes to sometimes just have friends that are willing to play devil's advocate. Not all the time because that gets annoying and we all don't like that friend who's got to be that guy every single time you get together. But yeah, it's like, hey, let's talk about the different angles on this because like I might be wrong and or you might be wrong. And if either of us are wrong, it doesn't matter. Like we both actually agree on the same thing that we should look after our oceans, right? And so that's what's cool about this. So what I could take back is that the toxicity level. Oh, I already read that one. Godzilla in the Rio River. That's a different kind of Godzilla. Water for chaser. Yeah, you. According to them, according to the UN, you could drink that water as for chaser. I mean, okay, you know what? I'm saying this is the thing. Okay, somebody like me comes on here and like, you know what? This water has 63 becquerels per liter. And you can actually drink, again, becquerels is the measurement for radioactivity in water. So, and the UN or the World Health Organization says you can drink water that has 10,000 becquerels per liter. So it's like, I'm saying you can actually take a cup and drink it. Would I take a cup and drink it though? Yeah, better not. To quote, what show is that from? Better not. Pitch Perfect. There you go. So, what does an ordinary Fijian need to stay informed and watchful of agenda in the media? Who do they trust if not the mainstream media? Um, yeah, I think that's on. Man, maybe I should come up with some alternative options. Um, ooh, I don't know. So, like China is pretty active in Fiji, right? I'm trying to be careful what I say here. Um, we had a so this is happening with Japan. Japan is one of our allies, okay? Um, where we align politically more so than we do with China. And one of our very top political leaders was supposed to be going to China this week and has gotten injured and is not no longer going to China. This is all happening while the Chinese government is spreading supposed misinformation about what's going on with this nuclear waste stuff. So it might just be like tricky territory that people are trying to like deal with because it seems like a really volatile time for a politician to go and visit a nation that whose agenda right now is to shift blame because that's what they're doing ultimately is shifting blame when they are actually the number one polluters. So who do we look to? Who do we trust if not the mainstream media? I think like in this is actually something I would love to get into one day is the full blown media business. I think that's what we're kind of creating here. I think this is how it starts. Starts on the mat in Vanuatu, outside before the dew starts falling. But I think that hopefully one day we can bring in freelance journalists and actually have a platform that using our brand to have a platform, whether that's a website, even just a website online, doesn't have to be print media, where people can go and actually get like true, honest journalism that is unbiased. Because I don't actually know the answer to that question. Bite-sized learning. Um, what I do though, what I try to do is I try to look at Fiji Times, Fiji Sun, and FBC, and see if they're all saying the same thing. Because there are some. One of those is government funded. The other one is there's another one that is notoriously known for just being an echo chamber of the government funded one. And so you just kind of have to look at different you just have to do your best to like spread it out and see what people are saying on all the different platforms. Rebecca Daran, I live in Lotoka, Wayabi. I've never actually heard of that. Where is that, Corey? You know? But like, is it outside? Is it a part? Is it part of the city, or is it like outskirts? Down there, yeah. Oh, okay. It's just funny. I haven't heard of Wayabi because I used to live in Nandi, but it was on the other side in Malolo and in Bunasi. So, um, Mula Tao, Mula. We have the worst street dogs here. Uh, yeah, yeah. Correa. So Correa used to live in Lotoka, right? In Nandi, yeah. And I've actually never lived in the city in Fiji. Like when we lived in Nandi, like I said, it was on like far out from Ratambu village, like another 10 minutes. And so it's rural cane farm, and then basically yeah, cane farms up here. So even in Senganga though, where Sam lives, who's sitting to the left of me here, there is a lot of dogs. Hey, like around
15 dogs on my street.
15 dogs on his street. It would be great to see you use your influence to get people to take action on the right things, like the rubbish dump. Yes, bite-sized learning. I totally agree. Like it's the thing is, like, I don't know what to do necessarily. Like our platform is great for making people aware, but like there's so many things for me to action every day, like in my own life, being a dad, number one, being a husband, number two, loving Jesus, number three, and then being a business owner, number four, that like all of these other things are, yeah, they just like stack up. And so like sometimes I feel like just bringing awareness to stuff isn't actually enough. So um like it feels sometimes like borderline like irresponsible and like clickbaity, because like the rubber stamp is actually something that pisses me off. It actually like makes me upset. um but I don't know what to do about it other than to like, yeah, use my platform to bring attention to this stuff, and then hopefully somebody gets in touch with us who actually can do something. um Maybe that's you guys, I don't know. I know there's a freaking 1 billion NGOs in Fiji, and they're all, you know, they all have people here from other countries who get paid crazy amounts of money. And then I have friends who get offered jobs with these same NGOs to do more work than the people that come from other countries do for that NGO, to get paid like $2 or $3 an hour. And so like there is a lot of money that gets spent when you're in another country. If you donate to a charitable organization, such as maybe one of these NGOs, you get a tax deductible receipt. So if I donate $50,000 to a charitable organization that does really good work in the world, I make $100,000 in a year. That $50,000 donation gets removed off of my income. So now it looks like I made $50,000. So now I only get taxed on $50,000. So there's a lot of advantages for people overseas. I do this with our business and our income in Canada. There's a lot of like you want to. It's not always about increasing your income. It's about also about decreasing your expenses and decreasing your taxation. Sometimes you can do that right back down to zero, depending on how much revenue you make and how much you spend. Um, but there's a lot of money that just is like sent out because people want a tax deductible receipt. The NGO kind of aligns with things. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, they love the environment, and then people come and nothing really happens. They drive around rental vehicles that cost $300 a day, and they're here for 5-6 months at a time, right? So, you know, I guess it's up to each and every person, you know, working for these companies, you know, take ownership of, you know, what they see and what they experience, and report back on it. And a lot of the problem though is just reporting back about it. They spend so much time doing paperwork. At least Japan is coming from enlightened fireball. At least Japan is open about what they are doing. They know what they're doing or not. It's the ones we never hear of. You know what? That's the most damaging. That is a great point, because if they wanted to cover it up, it's water. It's water. You don't think that they could just like let that go? It wouldn't take many trucks to, like, say the first dump was 3 Olympic swimming pools. That wouldn't take many trucks. Like they could just dump this into the ocean. Nobody would ever know. So why would they make it public if like if they was super dangerous? Like actually I've never thought about that. Enlightened fireball? You have friggin' enlightened fireballed my brain right now. So shout out to you. Yo, that is awesome. I follow you guys on Facebook from Kisaya. Thank you so much. It's a good thing you took it off. Oh, about the post. Yeah, yeah. Sinay na mutanga, yeah. Exactly. That's what I was worried about, and then it got no traction, so my pockets are now empty. The sad thing is nuclear waste will be dumped without seeking permission from any countries. So, Joshua, I don't know if you're referring to the same thing as the enlightened person who just blew my mind. Enlightened fireball. And threw a fireball of enlightenment into my face right there. The sad thing is the nuclear waste will be dumped without. Yeah, you have to worry about all the nuclear waste that's being dumped from countries that have nuclear reactors, because like this water would have to be stored and disposed of somehow, right? Whether it's into the soil or into the ocean. Bite-sized learning. The Croy what joke was funny normally. Oh, yeah, thank you. It was funny. It was good. Huh? It's already out, yeah. Oh, Croy doesn't even know it's out. It was great. It was so good. Beautiful weather in the west. I trust it is. But it's also beautiful weather here. I'm a Fijian living in San Diego, by the way, born and raised in Fiji, Lautoka, and chasing a dream here too here in the USA. Appreciate your content. That's cool. So bite-sized learning, what do you do in the USA? Like what dream are you chasing, and give us a snapshot. I'd love to highlight it. Love the stories of people really sending it and just going for it. You follow Kasai says I follow the YouTube page. Really love your content. Thank you so much. Well, I'm way behind.
I like the comment from Zeus. We're all wrong together.
Zeus, yeah, Zeus. Perspectives, you can bring the horse to drink the water, but will you yourself drink the same water? That's true. Even Harley.
I drink the horse will drink.
Yeah. Well, actually, they use that wasn't that in Bible times? Like they would first let the horses drink, or the camels drink, before they would drink. Like for sure, like you would not drink the water before your animal drank, and so at least yeah, exactly, yeah. So if something happens to your animal, you know that you shouldn't do it. Normally, movie sequel to 1979's China Syndrome. Ooh, I haven't watched that actually. Yeah. So wow, I'm way behind. Yeah, bite-sized learning. Yeah, those are great recommendations. I think that's the truth. To find the correlation with the media. Trump will save us all. Well, I don't know about that, but he will do something, and it might be from a jail cell, but we don't know. Yeah, he's gonna build the wall. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm just reading through the comments here. Church leaders in Fiji can also make a difference too. Yeah, for sure. I think there's a Methodist conference going on this weekend. Oh, all of next week. Oh, okay. I see. Man, that's really fudging up my shirt there. Okay. I am an auditor. My experience is accounting, audit, building my personal brand. I landed a job as a senior auditor here in San Diego, working towards professional consultancy in the future. Oh, that's sweet.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, really good on you. We might be able to do some work together in the future. We'll see. You can lead a horse to the trough. ... Yeah, isn't that right, Norm? You definitely can, but you cannot force it to drink. Trust me, I've tried. It doesn't go well. But I led a horse to the river, and yeah, didn't want to drink. So, we have in other news. All right. What if I just sounded like a complete idiot? Oh, there was chickens. And you just like sound like a newscaster, just like looking at the teleprompter, like I'm really actually talking to you guys, and then talking like this. In other news, 8 players who featured against France last week have been retained by the Fiji Water Flying Fijians coach Simon Raiwalui for Sunday's clash against England. I'm not going to do that. That's really annoying. So, yes, they basically looked like they brought like the bench on and gave a little bit of rest to some of the other starters. I do think that our backup hooker had a better game than the starting hooker. So I think it was a good decision to bring him on. I think Sam Matavesi brings like a lot of great experience to the team. And I really noticed a difference, especially with the lineouts when he came in. And that's nothing to say against the other guy. I think it was just, maybe nerves or whatever was happening. And it might not have even been with him. It might have been with the jumpers. Who knows? Robert Luis says they've been rotating players and testing combinations, especially in the midfield, with Rendandra teaming up with Naya Levu for the first time this season. So, who had such a quiet game last week was Josefo Masi, yeah? Like, I heard his name once.
Last week?
Yeah.
There was like the backlines didn't get
Yeah.
more balls.
Yeah. I think a lot of people like
Complaining about Frank Lamani.
yeah, a lot of people had complaints about Frank Lamani. So
He's playing number 9 again.
yeah, he's playing again. I think like almost his ability to box kick in the way he does is actually almost makes up for the delays that people see, like when he grabs the ball out of the ruck. Yeah, and then like he kind of he like pumps the ball twice. So like where you see like maybe like um who could you compare him to? Like maybe an Aaron Smith who like grabs the ball and just like one. Like he was kind of grabbing it, taking a step out of the ruck and kind of like then throwing it. And that little delay is enough for like one or two steps for the defense to close in. And when your back foot is literally one or two steps from the offside position, like that makes all the difference, right? So, but his ability to put ball in good positions because of his box kicking skills is like it's world class, I think. And so that would I'm not upset with him starting again. I think that was it Matawalu is a substitute? Yeah, Kurwali, sorry. Yeah. He's a really good like support player off the bench. Yeah, like he brings a really good energy to the team. Like if you bring him on as like a power sub, he's so good. He's so good. Have you seen The Sound of Freedom? Yes, I have seen The Sound of Freedom, and it broke my heart. It is not the movie to take your wife on a date night to because you end up crying and upset, and all you want to do is go home and hug your kids, and it's not romantic at all. Yeah, I'll say this, and this is only for everybody on YouTube Live. I'm telling people on YouTube Live, people aren't getting this content. Other people in other places, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you're not getting this. So we go home, date night, this is when we're in Canada. We're in my parents' house, all right? So nothing's happening, all right? We're in the parents' house, there's no kissy kissy happening in that house, all right? Dad is just like watching maybe right now. He's like, this is disturbing. Anyways, yeah, definitely not romantic at all. I say yeah. So I lean over just to like give Steph a hug, right? Nothing more than a hug. Just say I love you. And she was literally like, nothing's happening tonight, right? After that movie, there's no way. And I was like, I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah, you wish. I'm like, no, it's not that. It's not that at all. I'm just saying, I love you. All right, really, I'm not trying to start anything in here. All right. Oh, watching you, son. Oh shoot. So like it really wasn't anything because that would have been awkward, because it was in the parents' house, and so it wasn't. It was a unique day night. It was more like, what was that guy's name? Enlightenment Fireball. Yeah, it was like an Enlightenment Fireball kind of date. All right. Shout out to Enlightened Fireball. Tui, Dad, Pink, like Rebecca or Jessica coming in, like you guys are the worst. Can you guys comment at better times? Here we go. Yeah. Rugby crazy Fijian, bro. ... Same. And he was the one who asked the question about the movie if we would have saw it. That is so funny. Oh, dude. Oh, what's that?
Give her aphrodisiacs.
Give her aphrodisiacs. Yeah, that's called. Okay. So yeah, I don't do that. That is
Don't
Norm. Yeah, I get it. I wasn't going for that. And anyways, moving on. In other news, that movie was really eye-opening for me, um, because I think because the way that they marketed it and the fact that Disney had this movie for like 5 years, and going back to mainstream media and the suspicions behind all of this, what's the word for it? I can't remember. It starts with Q, but there's a word where there's all these like conspiracy theories about super like high class, upper class, and Hollywood and government officials who have these really, really complex pedophilia rings, and they have these islands and private homes and stuff like that where they have these innocent children taken to. And because of that, once Disney made the movie, they didn't release it. It got sold to, I can't remember the name of the media company. Um, and yeah, I don't know if that movie actually came to Fiji, did it? Um, if not, like, go and get it, go and like illegally stream it, like, because all I know is like Jim Caviezel, and that group of people, they just want people to see the movie. They literally, at the end of the movie, if you listen to his message, there's a website that you can go to and get free tickets for the movie. And so Jim Caviezel has become my favorite actor. Kudos to him for going against the grain. Yeah, no freaking doubt. Hey, like he went super against the grain. Um, and so, like, it was very clear this movie wasn't about money, but it was about money in the aspect of like they wanted to like give a middle finger to Hollywood for not releasing this basically, and almost like shadow banning the movie. And I think that it beat out what was released the same weekend. What Disney movie was released? Not Little Mermaid. There's another Disney movie that was released the same weekend, and it beat that movie. So I think that it came to Fiji. It was in Damodar. Okay, cool. Yes, tickets are free online if you can't afford it. Yeah, so like hop online on that website. It is, it is, it's stunning, and if you're a parent, it will break your heart. Um, Story of some kids who get stolen from a single dad, and yeah, and it you just I can picture myself as the dad being in a situation that he's in. I've had lots of people, like, trust me, lots of people approach us for modeling gigs for the kids in our family. We get messages, you know, often. People want our faces on their products, but we're really picky about who we actually choose, and so we haven't had any of this. But like there are modeling agencies, especially like when we first started, sketchy ones that like get in touch with you, and they want to take pictures of your kids and stuff like that. And like when you watch the movie, you can definitely see how this situation with this somewhat desperate single dad is in, and how he thinks he can help change his kids' lives forever. So August 21st, it is in Fiji now. Did it just come into Fiji?
It released in the US on July 7th.
Yeah, like a long time ago. When did it release in Fiji? Like, is Bite Size Learning is saying it was just yesterday. I don't know if that's a reference to when it was released. I think so. Propaganda, Enlightened Fireball. Yeah, lots of propaganda. So, propaganda being just like so prominent, I think, in the elite communities in governments. And I think because this is a really cool thing, going back to the nuclear waste, the conversation that we're having about that, especially with bite-sized learning, is that like there is there is a lot of there's a lot of options now because there's especially because of podcasting. You have Joe Rogan, you have um who else? Oh, why is his name slipping my brain now? um who is it? I've had three guys on my head, and so anyways, there's alternative options for news sources. Who's the British comedian turned news star or long hair guy? Come on, guys. Russell Brand. Yeah, so Russell Brand is another great option for news. Um, there is, if I go on, yeah, Ben Shapiro, he's super right wing, so I don't know if you get like a fair necessarily like analysis with him. Um, I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna just try to list a few guys that like I really like listening to. Um, you have Patrick Bet David. Patrick Bet David is great. Go watch his stuff. I think he's also a Christian guy, but he's not like pushing that agenda. Like that's not what it's all about. Um, he did some really good interviews with Andrew Tate and stuff like that. And the last guy that I want to mention is Sean Ryan, ex SEAL Team 6 guy, I think. Um, and he just became a Christian just a couple months ago, and he just released a full podcast about like that whole transformation in his life. Again, not what it's about, but he has on a lot of people. He actually, I think last week or a week before, it was a full week of everyday whistleblowers from different industries, and so um, whistleblowers being people who just break news on places where like the CIA, like the Antarctic South Pole and what goes on there, like very deep stuff. So yeah, so Patrick Bet David, um, Sean Ryan, Joe Rogan, Russell Brand, those are some great guys to go get your news from. I think I'm not saying that I agree with all their opinions. I'm just saying like they offer a variety of opinions, and a lot of them disagree with each other on different things. Um, so that would be like just search a news topic and then one of their names. That would be helpful. Um, um, Streamed it online. Angel Studio. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Dad. Yep. Can we trust Fiji Village? I don't know.
Fiji Village is like
Oh, Fiji Village. Yeah, that's another news site. That's right. I forgot to name them. Yeah, I look at them a lot. Um, what you yeah, I mean, what you also find on a lot of these sites is when it comes to world news, they quote and they give credit to like other news agencies, whether that's Al Jazeera, whether that's Reuters, whether that's BBC or any of these these places. A lot of their world news isn't like original content, so which is fine. You just have to like again balance everything out, right? Um, there are definitely options. Yeah, that's right. National Enquirer is not a good source. Yeah. Um, Patrick McDavid. Yep. Sean Ryan. Yes. Rebecca Daran. What year did you come to Fiji? We came in 2020, like a week before lockdown, actually. Yeah, 2024. We came from the future, right? Dun, 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 dun. Um, yeah. So this has been fun. What else do we got? Three makes a full list. For anybody who wants a content manager, I fully recommend hiring one, even if you don't create content. No, don't. That would be unnecessary. I follow a bunch of different accounts with different opinions. It's interesting to hear what people are saying from a variety of sources. You might not agree with everyone, but that's good, I reckon. Yeah, exactly. Like follow people that you really don't like. Like and like I said, like if you follow people all the people you like, your life is nothing but an echo chamber, right? And you never really understand like what those people's opinions are, and then you end up being completely unrelated from half the people on earth on certain topics, right? So Alex Jones, yeah, well, with Alex Jones, that is about as conspiracy as you can get. Um, he is worth listening to, though. I will say Alex Jones was right a lot of things with the P word that we just experienced over the last 3 years. If I say it, I will get banned with the old C virus. Um, John, your voice hasn't fully recovered. No, it did. Came home, applying pesticide, and that like an hour later, some of it must have got onto my lungs, into my alveoli. If I say it like that, it makes me sound really smart, right? Um, huh? No, It's the things in your lungs, you know, the things that are in your lungs, like this, like a boy band. They're like One Direction in my lungs. Okay, yeah, Street Boys, not Wrong Direction, not Street Boys, One Direction. Um, um, yeah, so that's what happened to my voice, and now I'm like this. I've been coughing. Today is the first. I didn't cough much today. Eh? Maybe twice. Like, well, yeah, it's been a great day actually. Yeah, it's getting better. So maybe hit the Suki tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Kids, don't hit Suki. Direction. I miss John's Darth Vader voice. Yeah, I think I'm okay. I've actually, you know what's okay? This is really weird, but I've been told by more than one woman that it is sexy. I That's weird, right? Like they being those two women. So call it anecdotal, I suppose, but it's a bit. Is it a thing that like raspy voices are sexy? I don't know. Sukimoro, yeah, yeah. That's what we have right here. But definitely got to check out those podcasters. Yes, go check them out. They are great. They are very, very great. I really enjoy their content, even though I don't necessarily agree with everything that they say. I think they got great things to say. Oh dear. Yes. Okay. So it is a thing, I guess. Do I play COD? No, I don't play COD. I used to play Halo though, so I was an Xbox guy. And actually, I searched high and low for my Xbox when I was in Canada because I could have sworn that I'd stored it in one of our bins, but it rah raspy Putin. I was thinking more like, isn't Gwen Stefani rah Ramana Lady Gaga? Bad Romance. um, or yeah, that's funny. Or Banas. That's Gwen Stefani, right?
I think so.
Oh yes, I'm on it. No, but I used to play Halo. Actually, me and Steph have a picture way back in the day. Me and her with our controllers, like when we first got married, like we used to play Halo together, multiplayer. We were nerds before we had a business. Yeah, she was working as a waitress, and then I was working as a tire change guy at Cal Tire in Canada, making minimum wage and just living life. No worries. Like we come home, like nothing to talk about at our work, like completely just a 9 to 5 job that you just make money and didn't have to like commit to. Um, yeah, that was a good time in life, you know? I think back on those times with a lot of fondness. Um, and but I was in it, I didn't enjoy it enough, I think. And that's weird to say, and it sounds like I'm about 80 years old right now, but like I don't think I enjoyed those moments, you know? Like I love having kids more than anything in the world almost. And I love them more than almost anything in the world. But there was something about just the freedom to just go and do, you know, me and Stephanie, we camped like every weekend, which we did with the kids still. We had longboards, you know, so we'd longboard around our city. We would, you know, Friday, Saturday nights, we just go sit on the boardwalk, beside the lake. We lived in a super ghetto apartment with really low ceilings for like 3 or 4 years. That was a good time in life. That was a good time. Um, Good because COD is a big waste of time for reals. Yeah, like I, I would agree. If you're a grown man playing COD, like um, when you could be doing, I'm not trying. I feel like a lot of people play COD though. So like, Tui plays COD. So like Roy plays COD. So there you go. Two of the guys that we work together. They play COD. It's a complete waste of time, and you should feel terrible about yourself. I think that's what you should feel. No, I mean we all do things that waste time, right? Some of us watch movies, some of us do this stuff. I think and I've told people this, like if I'm in a conversation, sitting in a room with people, and people are playing COD, like I'm just ticked off. I'm pissed. If I see your phone sideways and your fingers are going like this, I'm like, I don't know what it is. It tweaks me. It makes me so angry, and I can't help it. And even if I'm not talking to people, it just feels like I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It just really grinds my gears. I play Call of Marital Duty. Yes, that is exactly what it is. Yeah, I do lots of. I love honeydew melons, and my wife loves honeydew lists, and so I come home every day to a honeydew this and honeydew that, honeydew that, and honeydew this. So Norm, I also got some jokes. All right, buddy. I also got some jokes. This has been fun. Thanks, Jonathan. I'm out of here. It's 10:30 p.m. Mueve. Love you lots. Thank you so much, Bite Size Learning. That was a great conversation. Appreciate that. But I used to play Halo. Halo's better than COD, and we'll end the conversation on COD there. Tui, maybe. Okay. We'll just. So yeah. What do we else? Growing skills gap needs to be addressed. Okay, I'd love to hear this. Actually, we'll highlight a couple more articles for everybody who wants to take out a bit more. All right.
She was working as a waitress at a cocktail bar when we first met. Like the lyrics to a song, kind of.
She was like, what is this lyrics to though? I'm frustrated that I don't know this. Sam, can you Google that?
Sure.
She was working as a waitress at a cocktail bar when you first met her. She was a waitress at what is it? How does the lyrics go? She was a waitress at a low-class steak restaurant when I first met her.
Don't you want me? Or Human League, working as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
Okay, there we go. But she made really good tips. Really, really good tips. Those cranky old dudes, she knew how to work them, like work for their tips. They like basically with the old dudes, basically what she said is like you just have to be mean to them and they tip lots. I don't know why maybe that's weird. And normally, like, do you write content? Like, are you a Hollywood writer? Like for yeah, how do you do this? Yeah, I got the jokes. Yeah. Codliness. Cleanliness is next to codliness. It was terrible. All right, so growing skills gap needs to be addressed. All right. Let's look into this here. Open up this link. The Higher Education Commission of Fiji calls on institutions to tackle vital issues like the growing skills gap and loss of skilled talent. Speaking at an event, the Commissioner Chair Stephen Chan stressed the goal should be to nurture skilled individuals and promote intellectual teamwork. Chan says comprehensive. If this is actually, I stop reading if you drop acronyms like TVET. Chan says comprehensive TVET training programs need to be implemented to address the increasing exodus of skilled people. Can we at least put in parentheses what the heck TVET stands for? So, like, it makes sense to people.
I got it.
What?
Technical and vocational education training. Technical and vocational education and training.
Okay, technical and vocational education training programs need to be implemented to address increasing exodus of skilled people. He adds that vocational centers need to be expanded to provide students with a diverse range of options to pursue their passions and interests. Yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe that is a big problem. I mean, there's not enough opportunity for people that aren't really like good at tests and exams and all that stuff, and they'd rather go into like me. It wasn't that I wasn't good at tests or exams. It was that I was way more. I love the hands-on stuff way more. My mom and dad really wanted me to go to like full-blown university, get a degree, and I went to mechanic school and worked in the trades for a long time. Not that they were ever upset or, said anything. But I think as a parent, like, you want that, good education, for your kids. And yeah, I don't know if this is the solution to people leaving and going overseas. Like, if we have programs that encourage people and make it easy for them to get visas to go overseas, then creating more institutions. Sorry, I'm like talking over here like I have like, so much space. Okay, if we have this over here, programs that help people get overseas, get them visas quick, do the paperwork for them, find them employers, all that stuff. And then we just create more opportunities, more skilled people. More skilled people will just leave, right? Like, I don't know. And I guess there might be a few more people that stay, but like, I don't think that's the best lever, I guess, when it comes to like something that we should action. I don't know if you have a seesaw, right? Like this, and on this side of the seesaw is like people leaving, and that it's heavy because lots of people are leaving, and like this is like people staying. Like, I don't know if the best lever for that seesaw to make it like so that like more people stay is like making more skilled people. I think there's better levers to try to get that to happen. I think. But I'm an idiot. And I always say that. Zeus, what did Zeus say?
Steve Hansen.
Steve Hansen assisting the Wallabies' thoughts. We'll get to that.
Steve Hansen. He's the
Was he the coach when All Blacks won the 2015 World Cup?
So, okay, Sailasa, it's just that some of us are woke now and we have left God. Okay, we're going back to that and PUBG, etc. behind, and we are now trying to achieve greater things in our life, our family, and nation. Yeah, okay, back to that, I guess. We'll just take a little side route here and we'll come back onto the main road eventually. I don't think it's wrong, okay? Last night I was watching a Netflix show because I just wanted to like tune out, right? Fell asleep to it. And then Tui walked into my room at like 10 p.m. and was like, hey, I need to grab some hoodies. So Tui was going to Suva last night. And so nobody's in the house with me right now. Like, usually I share the house with like 6 other people. It just so happens everybody's away. And so I'm literally the only person in this big house, okay? For like, well, since yesterday. Tui leaves, and I think he's gone. He leaves mid-afternoon so he can make some content for the coffee shop. And then I'm watching a show, I fall asleep, and then I wake up to like Tui in my room. And I'm like, what the heck is happening right now? And I was a bit worried because, yeah, like I was worried because, some of us sleep with lots of clothes, some of us sleep with less clothes, right? And so that was why I was worried, and I won't go into details. But I was hoping, and then he was like, hey, I need to grab a few hoodies because some people wanted some hoodies because we still have Waka hoodies, for those of you who don't know, that are available to be purchased. They're the black ones with the red hood insert. And so he was like, I'm like, okay, just under my blanket. I was like, yeah, okay, just you can grab them. Like, wait for him to close the door, and then I'm like, yeah. Anyways, and so then I was just like, what the heck? So that was very surprising. I don't know how we got onto that subject, but I was alone.
Yeah, you were alone at home.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what the best way to tackle all of this, like skilled talent that's leaving Fiji. Obviously, the most effective thing we would do would be to just shut the programs down, if that's actually what we wanted to do. And I don't think that's what we should do. I think there's a lot of people who rely on these programs to send money back to their families in Fiji. I just think, we need to create more things that money buys, like we said a couple weeks ago, rather than just creating more money. These programs, I believe, create more money. They just create, people leave and they send money in, it's money that's coming into the system, and the money just gets spent and it's gone. But if we create more things that money buys, like businesses, like products and services, that means more employment opportunities and more money spent and circulating within Fiji. I don't think that's an easy thing to do, and I don't think that's a thing that can be solved in one 4-year term by any government. Um, so, uh, oh, my dad. Oh no.
He's saying good luck.
Oh, now, son. Almost midnight. Love you lots. Love you too, Dad. Peace. Thank you for joining. What do we got here? We do have qualified experienced counselors allocated to schools because that will be super helpful for children and teachers. What do I think? I think the earlier that you can get the earlier, how do I say this? The earlier that we can implement programs that can identify kids who are either going to be going academic or going trades route or vocational, the better. The less time that we waste of people's lives, the better. If they're sitting in the classroom getting credits in classes that they will never use, what's the use? Why not take some of these driven kids who are really good with their hands, who are still able-bodied, get them into the workforce, get them, get them working, get them doing things that they actually want to do, rather than hating their lives and then quitting school and, it being a hard time. I'm going through something right now with an employee, because he doesn't want to go to school. And it's like his parents want him to go to school. He doesn't want to go to school. And it's like, well, you know, I don't know what to say, like, um, it's difficult. It's difficult when you're in that position. Um, I don't know if I would have been one of those people. I would probably stuck school out just to get the diploma so that I would have something to work with. Yeah, I find it weird that I just shared about that stuff about sleeping, but oh, so that's why Tui was crying when he left the house last night. Yeah, maybe, maybe. You know, there's I there's stuff I want to say so badly that I won't say. Okay, thinking of the goal, thinking of like why we do this. All right, so I'm not gonna say it. I've done both lives. The grass is not always greener on the overseas side, being the other side. Yeah, I think, and we get a lot of criticism for this, but messages and whatnot, stuff like that, for what we say about, like, this is why you should stay here in Fiji. And you know I couldn't control, like, where I came from. My parents are missionaries, like, my mom worked her nursing job, every for 4 years out of every 8 years. So, like, they don't have a big pension, they're not millionaires, like, they have a house and they've saved really well their whole lives. um I had, a couple $1,000 that was put away for me when I was born, or, like, I can't remember, maybe it was 500 or $1,000, and it just grew, and it was kind of enough for, like, a laptop when I graduated so that I could go to university. And I decided to pull it out in grade 11, I think, and I spent it on my first car, which was a 2002 Mazda Protege. And so, yeah, I don't know, that's the life that I came from, and it wasn't a struggle. Like, I'm super grateful. Am I crying? No, I'm not crying. My voice sucks. Um, guys, this is the last sexy YouTube video you're gonna get. My voice is on the up and up, so tune in now. Sexy John is taking a back seat. I think the normal voice is gonna be back by next week. So take it while you can. Yeah, but about the grass being greener on the other side, like, uh, it is greener at times, but it's also, like, really difficult. And okay, I'm here, right? I'm in the village. If I park my van and I don't drive it, oh, by the way, in Fiji, trucks are vans, and so sometimes I call it a truck, sometimes I call it a van. Still trying to get used to that. But if I stopped doing everything today and I fired all the employees, I wouldn't have to do anything. Just plant some cassava, plant dalo, and work on the farm. And I probably put more money in my pocket than I do right now because I have, you know, a payroll. I have expenses, you know, for businesses that aren't cash flowing, you know, enough yet. And so, like, it's I'm not saying that that is better. I'm just saying, like, no matter where you go, you have to hustle your A off. All right. So it's just, that's just a matter of the fact. Like nobody sees like the 10 years prior to overnight success, right? Like once, and we will make it. Like Waka is going to be on the front of the Fiji jersey by 2031. I freaking guarantee you guys. You mark my words. Like that's, I'm working towards that. I'm sweating for that. I am, you know, it's what time is it right now? Like it's almost 6 o'clock and we're doing this together because like I want to build this brand. I want to show you guys that I care and that like this is a place where we can have conversation and this will grow, guys. Like, you know, before like up until a couple of weeks ago, we had like, you know, sometimes 6 people on this call, like there's 25 people. That's not many, but it's 4x what we had like last month, right? Like, okay, so what's 4x this? It's 100. What's 4x 100? 400. What's 4x 400? That's 1600, right? So like if you know this will grow and this is how we start and you guys are the OG crowd. But like sometimes, you know, and even when we do make it, people are going to be like, must be nice, you know, must be nice to have this and have that. But like I could have come from where I come from and just been a complete anus and not done anything with my life and just wasted it too, right? I could have been playing video games in my mom and dad's basement right now. They have a nice basement. It's a very nice basement. I would like to play video games in that basement sometimes, but I don't get to because I have kids and I have a family and businesses that we need to take care of. So that's fine. Yeah, if I miss Fiji. Yeah, Norm, where do you live? Anyways, I think we've talked about this before, but it's never too late to come home, dude. Love to meet you one day. Um, if our landowners in Fiji are enlightened on how to invest on their lands and the profits they can get, then I believe going overseas for work is no use. Yeah, so I mean, I see a huge opportunity if we're able to find the right partners overseas and the right logistics, like I mean, the right purchasers from us, the right logistics partners, um, we can we can create the biggest thing that's ever happened to the agriculture industry in the history of Fiji. I have no doubt. Like this, all the turmeric stuff that we were talking about like earlier this year, like that is still in the back of my head and eats away at me. The fact that we're not doing it, I will do that one day because I feel like if we the Waka brand build a processing plant, like we'll employ people at the plant and we'll employ thousands of people, you know, kind of like um indirectly, like farmers, right? Like people who have to go work on those farms, like people who sell the seeds for the plants that are planted on those farms, right? So I do think that like we have something, a big opportunity. It just takes all the right pieces falling in place, and that's a big job, you know. Um, so that is what I want to do. Like you know, even what I'm doing with my view with this office boy stuff, you know, like he proved him. I've talked about this, you know, in length before. Like we've done stuff with him because he's proved himself, and now we invest together and we split the profits. You know, that's awesome, and I think that more people can do that. Um, we have a lot of skilled and talented people here in Fiji, but we tend to accept overseas people who are taking the space of employment here in Fiji. Yeah, um, it's the same thing. I mean, it's up to you as an employee to build enough value for your boss. Like otherwise, you don't have a job. Because somebody else will take it. Whether it's somebody from overseas or somebody from here, you have to you have to prove that like you're worth it, and that like it would actually be detrimental for them to hire somebody else because like you bring so much value to the company. So I have friends who own companies in the north, and they brought in skilled laborers from overseas, because they know when they come here, they come to work. They don't come to do anything else. Because people who are here, they're like, oh, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, you call it sick. And it's like, well, I can't do that. I have deadlines that I need to make, or I don't get paid, right? Or I lose my clients. And like, if I, as a business owner, lose my clients, then like, we don't have any work, so I don't get to pay you, so you don't have a job. So it actually matters that you show up to work on Monday. But people don't adopt that, end up losing their jobs. So you really have to like create enough value as an employee for yourself, giving no reason in anybody's mind that they would ever want to get rid of you. That's, you know, working hard. That's, you know, being innovative and like problem solving, showing up to work on time, all that kind of stuff. I've lived amongst our Indo fam. Okay, I feel like when I said that, it sounded like really racist.
It's not. I approve.
I got an Indo man sitting here. Even that doesn't feel right. That feels not right. That doesn't feel right.
It's like
I've said in the past, like I feel like I can kind of like bridge the gap because being, you know, half Fijian, Canadian, I'm kind of like anything, you know. I'm Egyptian today, everybody. I've lived amongst our Indo fam for over a decade, and one of the many things I've observed is that they have evolved to meet modern day issues from a very early age. Yeah, and I think like you know, they actually I'm not going to say that because that doesn't really apply. But having the fact that like we as Itoke Fijians have the option to do nothing at all and still survive and still eat, that's a huge detriment to wanting to progress. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like this, you know, there's, you know, white guy walks up on the beach to we'll call him a Fijian guy who's sitting on the beach with his family. His kids are running around playing rugby. His wife is sitting on the mat and he's fishing, you know. He just comes in with his fishing boat, and white guy walks up to him and he says, you know what, if, you know, I help you with a business plan, like we can, if you work for the next 10 years, like we can get to the point where you have 10 boats and employees in a business, and then you can relax on the beach while your kids play and your wife sits on the mat and you just enjoy fishing. And the guy's like, well, that's what I'm doing today. So why would I do all this to just do what I'm already doing? And so, you know, that's what you're fighting against, is the mentality that like, I don't actually have to do anything if I want to survive. What we're pursuing is like greatness, I guess, with the Waka brand, is 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 setting an example, because like there's a lot of normal people in the world, and that's why I have the people like Tui, like Koroi, like people who actually want to achieve something more than what we have, because there's a lot of normal people who won't strive for anything. But if we can get to the point where we pay overseas wages to our employees who live in Fiji, and we figure out companies that we can start that can actually pay out, like that's exciting. And that is going to be something abnormal. And I'm not saying this is the life for everybody, and this is not what everybody needs to choose. I'm not saying that it's right, but that's just what I want to do. I don't want to get to the end of my life and have and be a person that could have achieved more than I did achieve, I guess. And so that's why it's important for me to remember to enjoy the journey more than I do. I don't enjoy it enough. Um, for example, in agriculture, while they using machines, we still going to Selekava and Mataiva. Yeah. So that's true. I mean, it would be, I mean, it's because, I guess it's, oh, what's that?
Depends on where you live.
Yeah, it depends on where you live, obviously, too, the terrain and all that kind of stuff. Lots of the places where we farm aren't able to be machine, yeah, machine or like, you know, the land prep is not being able to be done with machines. And a lot of the places where people who lease land is usually like flatter, you know, land closer to amenities and stuff like that. Struggle's real. Sorry, Tao. My phone is running out of juice, like 3%. So yeah, catch you later. Been real though. Thank you, bro. Sarasa, thank you so much. Walk will be on the forest for 120. in 20 years. Yeah, baby, let's go. I was closing, I was closing my eyes just so everybody knows. Well, it's a good thing you did. I mean, you might have seen that Fijian Godzilla. Oh, okay. You're very inspiring. Unfortunately, I have to go. Oh, thank you. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Jess. Come on, Jess. Let's go. I'm so excited. We got so much exciting stuff in the works, people. It's like I can't wait. Turi was like a little Red Riding Hood. What big eyes you have, Grandma John. Yeah. Punctuality at work. Okay, back to rugby. Yeah. Okay, so what do I think about Steve Hansen helping out the All Black or the Wallabies? I don't know
Good.
if I think anything of it.
Because like last
Maybe-
match day, Wallabies almost beat All Blacks.
Yeah. I think. I don't know. Maybe he's a traitor. Where's he from? New Zealand. Okay, we're gonna look this up. Hey, Jamie, can you jump on that? I just always wanted to say that. Yes. Sam's my Jamie. Jamie's Joe Rogan's producer, and he always just says, "Hey, Jamie, can you look this up?" So, yeah, we're gonna answer that last question. Where is Steve Hansen, the ex-All Blacks coach, from? And this light is so awesome. Like, guys, it's getting so dark here, and this is like minty fresh.
He is from New Zealand.
Oh, he is from New Zealand. Okay, bad news for Fiji. Oh yeah, because Fiji's in that pool, eh? Yeah. So yeah, and the Wallabies almost beat the All Blacks in the last outing. Like Roy was saying, it was like very close, right up to the end. So we'll see. Huge shout out tonight. I'm gonna scroll back up to the top. Tui always has problems scrolling, but I don't. Oh, I can't see the donations, but it was definitely the donations came from who was it? You guys got to help me out here.
I cannot remember.
One was empowered something. Anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure. We're gonna be back on. Thank you guys for the donations. I wish that it would have kept it on here because, like, I can't see who you were. Ooh.
It is
Okay, let's answer one more question before we sign off, guys. If you still got 19 of you, let's answer one more question. I'm enjoying this. Jonathan, this is from way back up from VT. A few years ago, you did a post on dishonesty you had encountered in Fiji. Do you have further thoughts on this now, and how do you reconcile this with devout Fijian Christianity? So I think that deception runs super, super deep in our roots. I think that, and this is after conversation with people who are much smarter than me when it comes to, Itaukei traditions, protocols, past life, history, ancestors, and stuff like that. I think that deception runs deep in our blood as Itaukei people. I think that putting all your cards on the table didn't do you any good up until very recently. Like we were wild people up until the last 100 200 years, right? That's very recent in terms of like the timeline of humans. And so in that, the way that we did battle or the way that we lived, for people to know exactly what you were doing wasn't helpful. And so deception was your upper hand on the enemy. Sorry guys, I'm trying to think of this like as I'm like talking about it here, so I hope this is okay. And so when, like, I've heard, it's okay, how about a story? Like, I got two stories. In that particular video that you mentioned, there was a gentleman who was doing some work for me. When he got paid, he just wanted me to put it into his bank account because he wanted to be able to say no to people when they asked him for money. Okay. And he would say, I put it in my bank account, and then when people ask for money, I just tell them that I've lost my bank card. And I'm like, shoot, it's too bad that you have to turn like a really, really good thing into like something that's sinful. because like you didn't lose your bank card. So that's a lie. And lying is a sin. But like your motives were actually pure. And what you wanted to do was save money. But it became something not good because you just couldn't quite tell the truth. When it's in, even with farming, we'll fill up a bag of like say like if it's like something valuable like yam or something like uvi, right, from the farm, and then we'll just put like a few coconuts or something on the top, right? So when people like see the bag, they think it's like coconuts and not like uvi. And like when you pass people on like the farm road, it's like, well, what's that? Oh, no, just some few coconuts like that, which is like not a lie, but it's not the full truth. Because like, why do you have to lie about like what's in your bag when you're coming back from the farm? Well, you don't have to, but it would just be weird that somebody might know everything about you in that moment. So there's just like this built-in deception that like runs very, very deep in our blood. Um, and it comes back to the ability to say no to things, to tell the truth about things, um, to say what needs to be said. Like you always hear, like, I can't say no. That word, those words, like, well, I can't say no. I couldn't say no. It actually comes from like a really good place, right? It comes from a place of like of love and um of respect. But like it says in the Bible, like, let your no be no and your yes be yes. And so I think like we're fighting this, like, this, it's a cultural shift. And I told people, I told our Matangali when we were having one of our meetings, like, our we are Fijian, but our new culture is Jesus. And so anything that actually doesn't line up with the Bible, and take it for what it is, all right? I'm a Christian guy. Anything that doesn't line up with the Bible, and we all call ourselves Christian in that group, anything that doesn't line up with the Bible, we can throw it away because that's actually that is our standard. And so if it doesn't line up with that, it doesn't matter. We don't need it. It's actually not beneficial to our existence and to our salvation and to the way that we will get to experience heaven with Jesus. Um, so yeah, I don't have all the answers. I'm just saying that's my analysis. And after talking to people much wiser than me, that's kind of what we've come up with. But anyways, guys, I really, really appreciate you all. One last taki for the live. And it's Friday today. So we will see everybody next week at 4:30. Jessica. Yeah, John. Yeah, Jess. I can't wait to have a chat. But they're scared. Might they get asked for some movie? Actually, that's so right. That's so right. That's probably the reason. Is like you don't want somebody asking for it, right? That's a very good point.
Yeah, what they
Ugh. All right. I'm here with my chaser water. We got 63 becquerels. This is from. I'm not even gonna say it.
Fukushima.
This is from Japan, supporting the Fijian Rua. Shout out to Japan. Shout out to China. Shout out to Joe Rogan. Shout out to Pinkfish, Norm Lee. Good show. Did I win the $100? Oops, wrong show. Yeah, I didn't do that this week. It eats into the profits, but anyways, we will do another giveaway. I don't want it to be like a habit that we get into. I would like to do that, like do something a little bit every week, or maybe once a week like that. So
Shout out to Enlightened Fireball.
yes, shout out to Enlightened Fireball for throwing those Enlightened Fireballs our way. And anyways, guys, I will catch you guys here next week. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for joining. This was fun. I think we're going to make this the biggest show in Fiji by this time next year. Let's have this be like the most watched show in Fiji. Maybe not on this platform. I don't know where we'll have to do that. But I think we can get there because this is live and we're talking to each other. Until next time, guys, Monday, tell your friends because like this is fun. Get some more people on here. Let's start chatting and we'll get this into a higher production. We're going to do this in better ways with better cameras and all that stuff. But we need your guys' support. Talk to you guys next Monday at 4:30. Peace.